Hey, college football fans, Jordan Reid here once again for this week's edition of Reading Between the Lines, where I'll talk about some of the things that caught my eye the most over the college football landscape. We have officially made it through week 7, and we only had one big upset this week. We had Purdue over Iowa, which a lot of people were really intrigued by coming into this matchup. We had some big time performances from players like George Karlaftis and then some of the other players on the Boilermakers. But the first point that I want to make that caught my eye the most this weekend was play the freshman quarterback. And I'm talking about you, Florida, then also you, Oklahoma. Oklahoma did it, and it paid off for them. Caleb Williams had a huge game against TCU, ended up 18 for 23, 295 yards and 4 touchdowns as they get the big 52-31 victory over TCU. Even though Lincoln Riley tried to keep it a secret throughout the week, there were so many things that were talked about leading up to this one, who was going to start between Caleb Williams and then also Spencer Rattler. But they played the freshman. They showed no hesitancy with him, and they opened up the entire playbook. And this is what a Lincoln Riley offense is supposed to look like: explosive, generating chunk plays. And you saw Caleb Williams even generating some explosive plays on the ground too, as what we saw in the Red River rivalry when he was able to come in for Spencer Rattler when he had some struggles that he had in this game, or in that game, I should say. But I really like what he was able to bring to this offense. And you saw Lincoln Riley just able to open the playbook. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I'm looking at you, Florida. Yes, you have a quarterback controversy right now. Emory Jones just has been wildly inconsistent up until this point, but I would encourage you to just go ahead and play Anthony Richardson. Go ahead and turn the page, and let's see what the freshman has. And you saw some glimpses of greatness in this game, and we've seen it throughout the year when Richardson was able to come in. Even though he did throw the 2 picks in this game, I really like what he has been able to show throughout his time at Florida so far. And you're going to have some bumps and bruises with Anthony Richardson, but go ahead and play him, see what you have in him. So my advice to Oklahoma: keep playing the freshman quarterback, and the same goes to Florida. See what you have in the freshman. You never know, you could turn your entire season around. So play the freshman quarterback. My next point, we're going to stay in the SEC, and we're talking about Georgia and this defense that they do have. This defense is outstanding, only giving up 46 total points this entire season in 7 games, but you're starting to see some big time playmakers emerge in this defense. And Nakobe Dean, the linebacker in the middle of it all, has really emerged as one of the biggest or most improved players throughout the country. Jordan Davis also up the middle of that defense. A lot of people were surprised to see him come back for his senior season, but it definitely has paid off for him. So Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis are easily the 2 best players that have stood out to me as far as draft eligible talent on this defense. And then you still have great players in the secondary: Darion Kendrick, and then some other players. Adam Anderson is another one that really stood out in this one. So Georgia is far and away the best team in the country to me right now. They have it rolling on both sides of the ball. Stetson Bennett is keeping the ship afloat, and he's doing what he needs to do as far as orchestrating the ball and getting the ball to certain playmakers on the perimeter. And they're arguably playing without their best weapon in George Pickens, who had the torn ACL back in spring ball. So I think the sky is the limit for this Georgia team, but everything goes through this defense, and they're on a historic path right now. And right now, it's just hard to see anybody beating them right now with the rushing attack going, Stetson Bennett getting the ball to all these weapons on the perimeter, and then the defense playing as well as they're playing right now. But once again, staying in the SEC, we had big news on Sunday. Ed Orgeron, the head coach at LSU, and the program agreed to part ways at the end of the 2021 season. And this is a high-profile job, and now joins the ranks of USC, easily the 2 biggest and best jobs that are open right now. But this job is really interesting to me just because it wasn't long ago where this team won a national title back in 2019 with the magical season with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and that explosive offense. Plenty of playmakers on the defensive side. And then K'Lavon Chaisson, another standout player. They ended up being a first-round selection on that defense too. And then you have plenty of other players on the defense that went on to become draft picks too. But this job is really interesting. You're going to see names mentioned like Jimbo Fisher from Texas A&M, which was a surprise to me. Dave Aranda, who was the former defensive coordinator that is now at Baylor. And there's plenty of other names that have been floated. Lane Kiffin down at Ole Miss. So I'm really intrigued to see who ends up getting this job at LSU, just because we all know that this is one of the most higher profile ranked jobs in the country, a job that you could come in and win right away in, even though they are in the tough SEC. But I think this is a job that you can come in right away and have success. You're going to get the best recruits in the country. You're going to have the best resources, and then you're going to be set up for success too. So this LSU job, I cannot wait to see what candidates emerge and then who ends up getting this job in the long run. Be sure to follow thedraftnetwork.com. Also, follow us on all social medias at The Draft Network to get your full fulfillment of NFL draft content. We have things going up daily. So once again, head over to thedraftnetwork.com.